So yesterday I started consuming content for the first time in a while, and this was mainly content I was looking at while I was in the middle of my work. So while I was gonna normally be doing work tasks or let's say Google Ads, or not usually Google Ads to be fair, but web development, looking at websites, cold outreach, I would that day I was just consuming a bit of content, and I was on YouTube. I was looking at some of these YouTubers and what they said. I was watching this one guy called Charlie Morgan, I think, and he was saying that you should focus not on getting a certain amount of money per month um, by the end of the year or in a certain time frame. That shouldn't be the aim when you're setting up an agency or something. Um, it was sorry, just lost my train of thought. I'm getting texts here. Um, So don't focus on getting just money at first, because there's something that precedes money. So you need to look at the end goal of what you're doing first, and you look at the step right behind that end goal. So when it comes to getting money first, that's your end goal. Your end goal is to get a certain amount of money per month. And before that, then you're going to need something to get that money. And the money you're going to need is the skills to generate the value required to get that money. So money and then value and then skills provided to get that value. So the first thing you should be focusing on is skills and learning skills each day, and just becoming the type of person who can properly communicate themselves through business situations, who can properly analyze the playing field, and can make decisions properly, and be proactive as well, and just be the kind of person who anticipates and is able to plan as well, and just manage as a whole. You just need to develop those skills. It might, you'll have to put yourself through some fire to do it, but that's what you're going to have to do. And it's not just that, but whatever other types of skills that you're using, applicable to your niche or whatever you're doing. So if you're in business and you're selling vacuum cleaners, then you're going to have to be getting pretty good at making vacuum cleaners, and you can increase your productivity when it comes to vacuum cleaners with either machinery or with skilled labor, and you're going to need to have the communication skills to talk with engineers who can actually create the things in vacuum cleaners. You're going to have to be able to convince them, you're going to have to be able to lead them and show them how to do things, and you're also going to have to train up people in the way that they can produce stuff that's applicable to your company in particular. So those are the skills that you need to actually run an agency or a business. And that's what I'm going to start setting my sights on now, because by the end of this year I have a goal to have made 10 grand a month, to be honest. And so far I've made nothing. But the thing is, I haven't actually made nothing. I've made significant progress, but not in terms of the financial aspect of things. It's in terms of up here, like being able to actually think, being able to talk, being able to keep my composure in situations. Uh, it's challenged me in ways that are different from just being able to make money. You're gonna you're gonna go on a journey, and you're gonna be setting out for this aim, but the real the real benefit's gonna be some transformational thing that changes you as a person, not the actual end goal. And I don't like that saying at all. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. I don't like it, but it's true. It's very true. So your journey is going to actually benefit you. You're going to become a different type of person, and that's why you should be measuring your success by. You should be measuring it by the skills you acquire and what you become able to do, and the type of person you become. Not necessarily the amount of money you make, the amount of materials selection material items you amass, not not the amount of lofty reputations you have on social media, whatever. You just need to become the type of person who can do things that the average person can't do, and that's going to help you mainly. So I was realizing that today, and I had an interview today as well, and I thought I performed pretty well actually, because in my last interview I was just talking, and I said to him, "Hey, be honest with me, is there anything that employees normally struggle with?" And he was asking me, "Do you mean, is there anything you would think I would think you were struggling with?" And then he explained that, and what he said was, "To be honest, it really concerns me that you were kind of quiet right now. I feel like I'm doing a lot of the talking, and you're just letting me talk. Whereas in a normal, more functional situation, he didn't really say that, but a normal, more functional, paraphrasing situation, it will be the person being interviewed doing all the talk. So that's mainly what it was, and I then realized that, and I'm very grateful he told me that, because I need the skill of talking. I need the skill of inserting words in between other people's pauses. Just an affirmation that you're listening. Someone saying like, and our policies include, going to sleep at a certain time, keeping lights out after 2 a.m., and cleaning up the carpet when it gets stained. You just be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And now I'm going to let you wander off a bit for a while at this time, let's say 1 p.m., and then you just say, oh, that's great. Just kind of quickly, before, as they're taking their breath, and then pausing into the next sentence. That would be the kind of thing that you should do. And that's something that most people know, but it's funnily enough something I didn't know. I felt like it could have been rude to just um, try to insert your own words into someone else's pauses, but no, that's something that you need to do. You need to show that you're listening, and he probably thought I wasn't listening. It's the same thing with my driving instructor as well. Um, she probably thought that I just wasn't listening to a word she was saying, because she'd just say, um, okay, make sure to slow down here from now on, because I've noticed you're going a bit fast. I just wouldn't say anything. I would take in that information, assume that she knew I was listening, and then go on. But that's not the way you do it. You have to do it in a way that it's like, um, you just say okay or something like that. Just a filler word, whatever. Even a nod of the head, better than nothing. And so today I came into my interview, and I was being as polite as possible, and I was inserting those little filler words into the pauses in what he was saying, and I think the interview went very well, to be honest. And I have another one again on Saturday, so there's just a lot of opportunities coming up for me in terms of jobs alone. But that's just a thing I had. First of all, I had the will to learn it, but now I can just transfer that information onto you. If you've the will to learn, this is just going to be a shortcut for you. I'm glad that I was the one to discover this for myself, because now I know I'm going to definitely apply it. Whereas sometimes you take other people's knowledge for granted. For example, you might take this knowledge for granted because you probably assume that you're already okay in these situations. And if I was watching this kind of video, not literally with me in it, but if I was watching this general type of video, I would probably think that it doesn't apply to me. And that's the problem with a lot of these people watching videos. They think, oh, this doesn't apply to me, because the brain, as usual, is going to choose the path of least resistance. And that's what I was doing for a while, but I didn't realize that I kind of sucked in social situations. I'm decent now, I'm getting better. In a year's time, I'm going to be better than 90% of people, 95%, dead certain of it. Last year I was worse. I was worse than 95%. This year I'm just getting better now. So yeah, that's really my thoughts on the topic. So focus on getting your skills up. Um, that skill was talking, really. And yeah, and I just got a call there from one of the managers at this particular store, and he was just, it's the interview I have on Saturday, and it's pretty much about like what I have, that I have, what interview I have. So he was just telling me the interview, and I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought he could have been one of the businesses I was calling earlier, so I just said, sorry, what? And I felt like it was just kind of awkward on the phone, and I was kind of wasting his time. I felt kind of bad, but what I'm going to say as soon as I meet him the next time is, uh, I sorry about the phone call there. I was just kind of I didn't really know who was calling me, because I did call a few people that day, and I thought someone might be ringing me back. So could you just uh, well, I was just being unenthusiastic. I may have sounded unenthusiastic, but um, I didn't mean to be, and I do hope to get this job. So yeah, let's start with the interview. Something like that. If it comes up, of course, but something like that. So that's what I'm going to end up doing, and yeah, again, I'm going to employ the strategy of saying something in between the words that he says, and yeah, that's something that I'm going to do. So yeah, just make sure to apply your skills. Measure yourself by your skills, not by your income. And yeah, just don't feel worthless as well if you're not making anything. Like I'm not making anything, and I feel fine. So yeah, just get those skills up.